Hey everybody, and welcome to Alcohol on Sundays, the only weekly alcohol review show, period, as far as I know. This show is meant for adults. It's meant for people above the drinking age. Do not consume anything that I review on this show unless you are of legal drinking age in your area. I think I actually legally have to say that. These are my top 9 favorite beers. Ignore the box of Franzia back there. All of which are great, and I'm going to explain the different ways that they're great over the first 9 episodes of the show, probably. So we might as well get right in with Red Stripe. Red Stripe, a good old standby lager, Jamaican style. Pretty easy to come by, not expensive. You can find it in 6-packs. I've rarely seen it in this gigantic form like this, but I had to give it a shot. It's not the most alcoholic of beers. It's, I think, 5% alcohol. What does it say? I'm not even finding a percentage, so usually that means the percentage is not super high, because if it was, they'd advertise. Oh, I'm getting some foam up there. So, this is, it's Jamaican. It's a very light beer. It's not that dissimilar from the sort of mainstream beers, like the Budweisers and the stuff like that. Like, it's along those lines, but it's better than most of those. So this is a good alternative for if you just want a simplistic, normal beer. I'm not necessarily that into craft beers. I've got a few of them up here, but I'm not super into the whole unique and different flavors of dark, heavy beers that are all just kind of extremely bitter or hoppy. This is just a fucking standard style beer. Anybody could drink this if you're a beer fan, if you just drink normal beer. Yeah, very easy to drink. Very carbonated tastings, very, very bubbly. But it goes down real easy. This is the kind of drink that you could slam as many of these as you want in a short period of time. This is the kind of drink that you could have 3 or 4 in an hour if you're powering through, or you could take your time with it. It's just heavy enough. It's not totally light. It's not totally just a fucking burn through it kind of drink like a PBR or something, or a Rolling Rock, where you're trying to get through it as fast as possible because you don't want to have to keep drinking it. This, you're comfortable enough drinking it that you can take your time with it if you want to. But it's relatively light. It's relatively low alcohol volume, so it's not something that you need to fucking that you have to take slow. Some of these you have to take slow. This is a go at your own pace kind of drink. It's got the red effect, as I like to call it. Beers that have red in the title and are red themed. I don't know if there's any logic behind this at all, but they tend to make me red in the face. And this is one of those beers. Red beers get me red in the face, and I like that feeling. I like that sort of that classic inebriation. If you want to feel like a Japanese salaryman with your tie tied around your head, red beers are the way to go, and sake, obviously. Which, ironically, Kirin Ichiban doesn't really create that effect, but Sapporo's may be closer. Maybe I'll talk about each of those on this show at some point. There's not a whole lot to say about beer, so this is going to be a show where the episodes aren't particularly long, but maybe I'll film a bunch of them back to back so that you can get the effect of me getting progressively more wasted as we go. I was originally just going to make a video about my top 9 beers here, and I was saving them for that reason, but as I thought about it more, I was like, maybe these do each deserve their own video, and I could talk about more beers in the future outside of just my top 9. But yeah, Red Stripe's one of my most common go-tos. This is the beer that, you can have a stock of them. Like, I feel the same way about like Rolling Rock or something, but Rolling Rock's just kind of gross. It's not that good tasting, so you get sick of having Rolling Rock around. If that's what you've been going to because it's cheap. This is not expensive. It's not nearly as cheap as Rolling Rock, but it's not expensive. You can get a 6-pack for $10, $11, or a 12-pack of cans or bottles for less than $15, so it's not expensive. It's good to have around. Just anytime you need a beer, if you're sitting around, you're like, man, I'm bored, I wish I had a beer. Red Stripe's a great go-to, You can really control how drunk you get with this. And I think that's a powerful thing for beer. That's why there's so many mid-level stuff up here that some people will probably scoff at some of the beers I've got up here. Like, how can you drink Tecate or Red Stripe? But it's because of the control that it gives you over how drunk you are. Granted, with a gigantic bottle like this, 24 ounces, so it's a pint. I don't know what the equivalency of this is in the smaller cans. I guess I could find out. It's probably the same as this. 11 ounces, 24. This is like a double-sized bottle. So, this is basically a buzz starter kit, this beer. This one just... that'll get you from 0 to okay in one bottle, and then you can follow up on that however you like, depending on how the evening is going. You can get a good measurement for how drunk do I need to get by the time you finish this beer, and then you can make a decision from there. All right, that's it for this episode of alcohol on Sundays, the one day that you truly need it in the week.